All right. Good morning, everyone. Today is January the 25th, and today is part 33 of my journey to becoming a voice actor. Welcome, welcome. So, uh, I know exactly what it is I want to do, what I want to try and get done right off the bat for today. So, the first thing is we're continuing where we left off. Um, we need to get this script down for today, which is the goal. Let me share my screen so you're not just looking at the void there. Hey, here we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm realizing now the reason why I accidentally ended the stream before is whenever I go and open properties for changing the source, the end stream button is also like there right after. So I have to be extra careful so I don't accidentally hit that button, end the stream, and then fuck things over, basically. Um, so yeah. So let's continue where we left off. Got no announcements to make, really. Let's just get it done. So last take I did of this was pretty good. Still made a few mistakes, mainly with pronouncing certain words. But first thing we're gonna do, actually, before we even record, first thing we always have to do is we'll do a test. Test, 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 1, 2, 3. Test, 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 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's on the right microphone. We're good. So Audacity set. Next thing that I need to do is the following. So just hit done once. Do not end the stream accidentally. Okay. So this is the script that I'm trying to get down. So I've added in a few little edits here. So for instance, you'll see these dashes. This means to take a breath. So what we're gonna do is if it's 1 slash, it's a quick breath. 2 slashes, it's a longer breath. So we're gonna look at all the opportunities here to take a breath. So let's see, in the heart of secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. So probably right at this comma, there's a, so if we say, in the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. So that's a time for a very quick breath right here. Okay. So that's a quick breath. There exists an enchanted garden. And then here is an opportunity for a long breath. We're just going to make it bold. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade. So that's a very quick breath there. A cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. Usually I wouldn't need to take this many breaths, but because I'm putting so much emphasis on all these different words and putting a lot more energy into it, it takes a lot more breath out of me. So I need to make sure that that's proper there. The air is alive with the seed symphony of chirping birds. That's a quick breath we can do there. Their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Okay. Long breath, end of a sentence right here. So, the air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. That's good. Then another long breath here. A cobblestone path weathered by time and embraced by moss. A cobblestone path weathered by time and embraced by moss winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. We can definitely take a short breath here. So if you're also looking to, voice act, this is probably one thing that I can impart upon you. Again, I've said this many times in the past and I'll say it again. I am no expert. Not even close to being an expert in this field. I just know certain things that I've been taught. So this is one of the things that I was taught. It's called woodshedding. It's very important. What I have taken from woodshedding though is I am able to usually do this on the spot. I don't have to mark it up and do all this stuff, but I should be doing this markup stuff more. The way I was taught specifically was mark up the page, do this and that, but truthfully, if you're getting the script while you're there, you have to be able to woodshed at a very fast pace. You have to basically read through the script real time and be like, okay, I'll take a break here, breathe here, breath here, enunciate this word, this. Most of the time, they're not going to give it to you in advance. So you just got to go for it. So it's usually what I do, but because this project is something I can actually take my time to woodshed, I have that opportunity, I'm going to take that time. And also because this is a really, really good script to do it, and it's a lot of fun. So, yeah. Winds its way through garden sweat. Yeah, that's fine. And then long breath here. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead. So let's try this out. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. So we don't need this here because we're getting a quick breath there and then probably another quick breath here. All right, let's see this one. Sunbeams. Sunbeams filter through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Sunbeams filtered through the foliage, not foliage, 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 foliage. Yeah, so we're keeping that there. Sometimes there's words that'll trip you up. It's just better to space them out like that so you can just know with absolute certainty how to pronounce them. Because if I just said, oh, this word's important, and I need to say it a certain way, but I don't write down the certain way, then I'm just going to get tripped up. So by separating how it's exactly pronounced in the word makes it a lot easier. Okay, so I can definitely do this on one breath, and then this gives us an opportunity to take a free longer breath here, beginning of new sentence. Anytime we get a period, that gives us a chance to take a larger breath, which means we can put more energy into the sentence. So let's try this. Sunbeams. Sunbeams filter through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet. Foliage. Did I say that right? Foliage. Yeah, as long as I'm not saying foil, it's fully. Full. FOL, that's the key. It's full versus foil. Sunbeams filter through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. That's another opportunity for a big breath. The garden seems to pulse with life, its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. So I could do that all in one breath, but we can add in actually a very quick breath here. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another. Okay, so this is a very long sentence, so we'll put a quick breath right here, give ourselves a bit of a boost. Butterflies. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Long breath here. Their wings carry the whispers of... So let's try that, actually. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets, a language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. Water droplets, suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk. We get a quick breath right there. Usually anytime there's a comma, that's a good sign that you could take a quick breath. Catch the light and reflect it into a myriad of colors. Okay, and then we can get a full breath here. Crystal streams ran through the verdant landscape. Quick breath here. Let's try that. Water droplets, suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk, catch the light and refract it into a myriad of colors. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Majestic trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens. Ugh. Let me just get this out so I can see your guys' messages. Okay. So that's okay. Majestic trees, they're not branches. Yeah. Stand as silent sentinels, guardians of the secret. So let's try that. Well, this for sure, we can have a big breath at the end. Okay. Majestic trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens, stand as silent sentinels, guardians of the secrets embedded in the very soil beneath. Their leaves rustle with tales of centuries past, a murmured history that only. Okay, so we have to have a quick breath there. Only the perceptive can decipher. Okay. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march. Definitely a breath there. And the tangible and ethereal become one. The long breath right there. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic. Short breath right there. Inviting those who wander its embrace to witness a symphony of existence. Another short breath right there. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march, and the tangible and ethereal become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic, inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence, a masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. Okay, let's try all that out. And then also, it should go without saying, every time we end, we take a breath. And then now we're just bolding and underlining important words. So, words that I'm going to pay more attention to. Let's see. Okay. Yes, this is an important one. The wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets. Weaving through the leaves and petals is also an important one. Delicate brushstroke. Okay. Let's practice the last sentence here. Inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. See, I think that last part needs to have more. Brushstrokes of dawn. How can I emphasize that more? Maybe I can. Inviting those who wander. Burning the early oils. Keep it going, lad. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you. Yeah. Keeps me on a good routine so I don't sleep until 10 o'clock. Let's see. Inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. So dawn, say like, of dawn, 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 dawn. With the brushstrokes of dawn. No, I think it's better if I say a masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. Okay. Well, I think we've got it down. Let's do a soft run. We'll record a soft run, see how it goes. Yeah. I'm curious to see what this is going to sound like now that I've actually written everything out. So now we have not only do we actually have the breaths written out, as you can see here, we actually have a bunch of different words highlighted of specific things that we want to focus on. The most important thing was the breaths, but also doing these bold and underlining of the specific sentences is perfect. Make sure we drink enough water, because this is a longer script for sure. So yeah, okay. Let's give this a try. Excuse me. All right, so let's switch it over to Audacity, and let's not end the stream accidentally. One click. There we go. I'm gonna be paranoid about that now. Trying to make sure I do not end the stream early by accident like I did yesterday. That was unfortunate to say the least. Um, okay. Let's give this a shot. In the heart of a secluded forest. In the heart of a secluded... No. Okay, so first thing actually I should do, I'm going to do this right now because this was a huge issue I had before. I need to nail down that first line because that is where everything takes off from. It's like the starting line in Mario Kart. Like if I don't time it right, I don't get the boost that I need to go through the rest. I need that boost head start. In the heart of a secluded forest. That's not bad. I need it to be like, okay, how do I want this to be? Like, in the heart of a in the heart of a secluded. Okay, relax. Just focus on what I want to achieve. In the heart of a secluded forest. See, every time I'm doing that, it's like I'm switching to my normal Steven talking voice. Like, hey, everybody. Oh, in the heart of a secluded forest, right? Or I want it to be like deep and engaging and immersive, right? That's the challenge. That's been the challenge with this script. In the heart of a secluded forest. See, that's not bad, but I feel like it's missing something, you know? Yeah, okay. You know what? We'll just try it because I know that getting this down is going to be a challenge, but I'm going to try a few more times of just saying this first sentence, and if I really am not sure, I'm just going to go with my gut and record. That's what we're going to do. We got the sweater on, maybe that'll give us a buff. Maybe that's going to give me a buff I need right now. Who knows? All right, come on. Let's get this shit down. Also, this is way too opened up here. There we go. That's better. In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. In the heart of a secluded forest, that's what I want. I think you were pulling up on heart, but I ain't no voice actor. In the heart of a secluded forest. Yeah. No, you're actually right. I think I am. That might be what's tripping me up, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. If I say, like, in the heart of a secluded forest, where I was going like, In the heart of a secluded forest. That's the triple mushroom boost. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. It's always a start that's always the trickiest, eh? Because this whole beginning judges how the rest of it's gonna go, essentially. If I have a shit start, the rest of it's gonna be shit. If I have a good start, it's gonna be good. But an excellent start, that's what we want. The triple mushroom boost. In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. Yeah, that's not bad. Could be better, but that's not bad. All right, fuck it. We're just gonna go for it. Let's just go for it. In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. The garden seems to pulse with life, its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets, a language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. Water droplets, suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk, catch the light and refract it into a myriad of colors. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Majestic trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens, stand as silent sentinels, guardians of the secrets embedded in the very soil beneath. Their leaves rustle with tales of centuries past, a murmured history that only the perceptive can decipher. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march, and the tangible and ethereal become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic, inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence, a masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes, a masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. Okay, let's listen back and edit it up. That felt pretty good, although I know that I messed up with one of the lines near the beginning, which really fucking sucks. And that's not the first time that's happened. But overall, that felt pretty good. So let's start editing this up and then see how it turns out. Oh, excuse me. So we're just doing our basic edits right now. Getting the noise profile, reducing the background noise. Then applying a compressor and normalizing the audio. And then a hard limit for the peaks. In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world. There, a realm veiled from the ordinary world. The ordinary world. There exists an enchanted garden. An enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above. A cascade. When is the Steven narrator mod for Baldur's Gate 3? Man, that'd be pretty cool. You're far too kind. Man, but that'd be so sick, honestly. You know what it would have to do for that to actually happen? You'd have to I'd have to say like hundreds of lines of dialogue, have an AI analyze that, and then just have that as an imported thing where it reads the text. That would be pretty cool. The narrator in Baldur's Gate 3, though, she was amazing. Super talented. Extremely talented. Pierce through the thick canopy above. A cascade of of soft, golden light, descends, reveal, descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds. Their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate. So you'll notice that I'm like, I'll undo that just so you can see. You'll notice that I reduce the volume of this. The reason why I'm doing that is because this is what's known as a plosive. So anytime there's like a pa or ba or t sound, so the t sound is a plosive. So I want to reduce that down so it sounds more natural. Each note is a delicate. Each note is a delicate brushstroke. Painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic. That invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path. Weathered by time and embraced by moss. Winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves. Leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead. As if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral. Yeah, so that is the mistake there. Cathedral instead of cathedral. That's where I fucked up. Crafted an open-air cathedral. Cathedral.
Cathedral.
Yeah. Sounds really weird.
Air Cathedral. Air Cathedral.
So we'll have to redo that. We'll have to redo this whole thing. This is just the first take for today.
Celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams. Filtered through the foliage. Create kaleidoscopic patterns on kaleidoscopic patterns on kaleidoscopic patterns on the kaleidoscopic patterns on kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. The garden seems to pulse with life. Life. Its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another. Engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Their wings
There too, I made a mistake.
and rebirth.
Rebirth wasn't fully set out properly there.
Rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets. A language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. Water droplets. Suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk. Catch the light and refracted into a myriad of colors. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Oasis. Majestic trees. Their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens. Stand as silent sentinels. Guardians of the secrets embedded in the very soil beneath. Their leaves rustle with tales of centuries past. A murmured history that only the perceptive can decipher. In this enchanted garden, the garden, enchanted garden, enchanted garden. Time seems to lose its relentless. Time seems to lose its relentless march.
Sorry if I'm not speaking as much. I'm just hyper focused on editing this as quickly as I can. Quickly and properly as I can. There is actually a set amount of time it should take you. It's you take the amount of minutes and you multiply it by, I believe it's by 5 or 6. So if this is 4 minutes long, it should take me longer than 20 minutes to edit it or something along those lines. And if it was a minute, it should take no longer than 5 minutes to edit.
And the tangible and ethereal become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic. Inviting those who wander into its embrace. To witness a symphony of existence.
So I'm getting rid of all these breaths and I'm editing these down so the sounds aren't as harsh.
Of existence.
There we go.
A masterpiece.
So this is what we call a very high peak plosive. So that, all we have to do is just take that. Boom.
Masterpiece painted.
You can tell right away, huge difference.
With the brushstrokes.
I think this is where I made the mistake. Yeah. So we'll just silence all that out. Delete it back here.
A masterpiece painted. A masterpiece painted. A masterpiece painted.
And you'll see
a masterpiece painted.
This giant spike right here. I want to reduce that down and then fade it out a little bit.
A masterpiece painted. With a
So brush strokes, we can reduce that down.
With the brush strokes of dawn.
Okay, not a bad take at all. There's definitely some stuff I need to improve on like slurring certain words together needs to stop. It's something I've done in the previous takes as well. That needs to just fucking stop.
A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn.
Other than that, though, not bad. Okay, well, since you've all been waiting patiently, one thing I do like to do, don't worry, we're not just gonna delete and try again. I'm actually going to make this fun to listen to. Um, so we're gonna put this on, and you guys are going to feel immersed, hopefully. Let me know what you guys think. Once you hear this, I guess, yeah. So here we go.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the
Well, there you have it. So, overall, sounds good, but there are mistakes, and we have to correct those mistakes. Thumbs up. Thanks, Ryan. Glad you like it. Yeah. Overall, pretty good. Um, but yeah, we got to correct the mistakes. So we're going to do it again because that's what we do around here on the, I was going to say on the podcast. This is not a podcast. This is a live stream. This is what we do on these streams. We keep going. And, yeah. So let's just keep going, I guess. Let's do this again. Fuck it. We'll take a break later. So this is a pretty good take. The biggest things that I made the mistakes on though were
Garden.
Where is it here? Is the open air cathedrals one? That is one of the mistakes. So I'll make a note for that specifically. Open air cathedral there. And then the other one that I fucked up on was, where is it here? I think it was somewhere near the end, actually.
And the tangible and ethereal become one and decipher. Soil beneath, oasis, verdant landscape, colors, silk, water droplets. Comprehend. Language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. Gauging in a delicate mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth.
Right there. So life and rebirth. That's another fuck up there. So that is right here. Eternal cycle of life and rebirth. You can't see what I'm highlighting right now just because I'm not sharing it, but it's okay. You can trust that I'm editing it, I assure you. Okay, so I like the tone, I like the pacing. The only thing that we have to just really nail down is not slur words together. I think that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest roadblock right now to making this like post worthy. I want to get this down. I don't want there to be any slurs in words or me fucking up sentences. I want it to be as spot on as I can get it to be. So, I've highlighted the mistakes. Let's practice a few times just with those lines so we don't fuck it up. Okay, so we'll start from the first mistake, which was the open air cathedral. So it would go something like this. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. That's better. As if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral. An open air cathedral. Cathedral, not cathedral. Okay, one more time. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral. Okay, I also have to be careful with crafted, not crafted. As if nature herself
had crafted an open air cathedral. Crafted an open air cathedral. The tricky part is crafted, and then the word "an" is right after, so they kind of merge together. So I just got to be careful of that. As if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. That's better. That's what we're looking for. Okay, the next mistake that I made was. Excuse me. Next mistake that I made was the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Yes, the butterflies part. So it should go something like butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Here, let me, I'll share the script so you guys can see. Just hit done once. Don't end the stream, Steven. There we go. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. That mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. The eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Cycle of life and rebirth. Excuse me. And then I think those are the majority of the mistakes. Okay. So let's just do them back to back to make sure we got them down for sure. As if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams filtered through the foliage. Sunbeams filtered through the foliage create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Excuse me. Sunbeams filtered through the foliage create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. We can add in actually an extra breath here. Flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. All right, let's give it another go. We'll mute this and hopefully we can get it this time. No matter what, this will be the last take before I probably go and take a break, just because, well, after I edit and play it back, of course. We're doing that. I want to try doing another attempt at voicing over something, but it's something that my friend sent me. She wanted me to try it out, so
Oh, excuse me. So we're definitely gonna try that out. If we have time. Anyways, take the headphones off. Let's do it. Let me switch the screen back to Audacity. Yep. Okay, we're good. All right, let's try this again. Bring some more water just so we're ready.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. The garden seems to pulse with life, its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets, a language only the garden's inhabitants can understand.
You know what? We're gonna restart. I'm actually not happy with it. The beginning felt, it didn't feel strong. It didn't feel like a strong start. It felt like I was speaking too much like my own voice. So we're gonna try again. It's hard. This is the hard part. When you want to get something done properly and really nail it down, it's really hard, man, for voice acting. So we're gonna try again.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world.
Deeper, Steven. Gotta be deeper than that. Voice has to be deeper than that for sure. Okay, come on. All right, here we go. Here we go.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. The garden seems to pulse with life, its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets, a language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. Water droplets, suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk, catch the light and refract it into a myriad of colors. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Majestic trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens, stand as silent sentinels, guardians of the secrets embedded in the very soil beneath. Their leaves rustle with tales of centuries past, a murmured history that only the perceptive can decipher. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march, and the tangible and ethereal become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic, inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence, a masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn.
Fingers crossed, this might be the take. I know we had to repeat one of those lines about 3 or 4 times, but fingers crossed that was the take. Now we edit and hope for the best. I really hope that was the take. So now we're just doing our basic edits. Reducing the background noise. And then we're compressing and normalizing. Hard limit it to get rid of some of those peaks. And then we start the editing process once again.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world. Ordinary world. There exists an enchanted garden. An enchanted garden. Garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above. Pierce through the thick canopy above. A cascade of soft golden light of soft golden shade of soft golden light. Golden light. Light descends. Revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine, twine, in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds. Their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Leaves and petals. Leaves and petals. Leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke. 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 Painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path. A cobblestone path. Stone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss. Leading explorers, intricate vines adorned with form arches as if nature herself had crafted intricate vines adorned with a cobblestone path. A cobblestone path. A cobblestone wonder. A cobblestone path, weather. A cobblestone wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss. winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue blossoms of every hue form arches overhead. Arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open air cathedral.
There we go. We didn't fuck it up that time.
Celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky, of sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. The garden seems to pulse.
All right, halfway there.
The garden seems to pulse. The garden seems to pulse with life. Its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. With the heartbeat of the earth. Butterflies. Adorned in wings of iridescent hues. Flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life, and rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets. A language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. water droplets, water droplets, water droplets. Water droplets, suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk, 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 silk. Catch the light, catch the light, and refract it into a myriad of colors. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape. Crystal clear, creating miniature. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant land. Crystal clear, majestic. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Crystal water, catch the light. Crystal clear. Crystal clear streams. Crystal clear streams meander. Crystal clear streams. Clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Oasis. Majestic trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens. Heavens. Towards the heavens. Reaching towards the heavens. Stand as silent sentinels. As silent sentinels. Guardians of the secrets embedded in the very soil beneath. Their leaves rustle with tales of centuries. With tales of centuries past. Centuries past. Centuries past. Centuries past. A murmured history that only the perceptive can decipher. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march. This march. And the tangible and ethereal become one. Of magic converges with the mysteries of magic. Become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic. Of magic. Inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. Of dawn. Dawn. Of dawn. Of dawn. With the brushstrokes. With the brushstrokes. With the brushstrokes of dawn. The brushstrokes. With the brushstrokes of. With the brushstrokes of dawn. With the brushstrokes of dawn. Painted. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn.
Holy moly. Oh my god. Ugh. All right, now I listen to it. We give it another listen with the music. And let's hope, everybody that's in the chat, everybody hope that this is the one. Let's cross our fingers and toes. This is the one. I really hope so.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below.
So, do we think that's the one? What are we thinking? I think, if I'm being 100% brutally honest, I think it's good, but there are certain parts where I hear myself going back to my normal voice, which is one issue. Like if we compare uh
And the tangible and ethereal,
let's actually compare and see.
it is a masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn, inviting those who wander into its and the tangible and ethereal, time seems to lose its relentless march. In this enchanted garden, time can decipher. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march, and the tangible and ethereal become one. A murmured history. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march, and the tangible and ethereal become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic, inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn. In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. As the first rays of the morning sun pierce through the thick canopy above, a cascade of soft, golden light descends, revealing a realm where nature and magic intertwine in perfect harmony. The air is alive with the sweet symphony of chirping birds, their melodious tunes weaving through the leaves and petals. Each note is a delicate brushstroke, painting an unseen masterpiece that dances in the gentle breeze. Fragrances of 1,000 blossoms mingle, creating an olfactory mosaic that invites the observer into a realm of sensory wonder. A cobblestone path, weathered by time and embraced by moss, winds its way through the garden, leading explorers to secret alcoves and hidden wonders. Intricate vines adorned with blossoms of every hue form arches overhead, as if nature herself had crafted an open-air cathedral, celebrating the sacred union of earth and sky. Sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals, sunbeams, filtered through the foliage, create kaleidoscopic patterns on the emerald carpet of grass below. Dew-kissed petals shimmer like diamonds, reflecting the day's nascent promise. The garden seems to pulse with life, its very essence resonating in harmony with the heartbeat of the earth. Butterflies, adorned in wings of iridescent hues, flit from one bloom to another, engaging in a delicate ballet that mirrors the eternal cycle of life and rebirth. Their wings carry the whispers of ancient secrets, a language only the garden's inhabitants comprehend. Water droplets, suspended like liquid pearls on delicate spider silk, catch the light and refract it into a myriad of colors. Crystal clear streams meander through the verdant landscape, creating miniature waterfalls that sing a lullaby to the inhabitants of this magical oasis. Majestic trees, their gnarled branches reaching towards the heavens, stand as silent sentinels, guardians of the secrets embedded in the very soil beneath. Their leaves rustle with tales of centuries past, a murmured history that only the perceptive can decipher. In this enchanted garden, time seems to lose its relentless march, and the tangible and ethereal become one. It is a sanctuary where the beauty of nature converges with the mysteries of magic, inviting those who wander into its embrace to witness a symphony of existence. A masterpiece painted with the brushstrokes of dawn.
I think that's pretty fucking good. Honestly, after listening back to it, there's no mistakes with any of the words that I'm saying. They're all enunciated properly. I'm still giving that energy, those extra words that need it. I really do feel like this is the take. So let's go. Ugh. Oh my god. It took fucking forever. Holy shit. But you know what? The fact that it took so long means that this just it's gonna sound even better once it's all put together with the music and everything.
In the heart of a secluded forest, a realm veiled from the ordinary world, there exists an enchanted garden. Nature enmelted through the foliage.
All right. I'm going to take a break. I have been streaming for over 2 hours without taking a break for voice acting, which is um definitely not normal for me. Usually I take a break every hour. I would have taken 2 breaks by now. So I'm gonna go take a 10 to 15 minute break and we'll finish off with some reading by continuing our book, Mastery by Robert Greene. So I'll be back in 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, and we are back from the break. So for the leftover time we have until about 12 o'clock, I will be reading some more of Mastery by Robert Greene. So we'll continue with the reading. All right. Got off topic there. And we're now at 111 subscribers on the channel. We got we had a few people subscribe the other day. 2 new people subscribe, which is awesome. Welcome to the journey. Welcome to the channel. All right, so I'd like to now finish off with a bit of reading. So I'm going to well, I might get copyrighted for this, but screw it. It's nice music. So let me share my screen here. All right. So now I'll ask you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy as I read to you more of Mastery by Robert Greene. Last where we left off, we talked about, well, we had 2 different stories we looked over. One of them was on Yoki Matsuoka, who was really into working with things with her hands, very hands-on woman. She loved mathematics, physiology, and building things, and talked about how she got into MIT and focused her whole work on finding different approaches to designing prosthetics, specifically hands that mimic human hands. And her current research now that she's still doing is finding a way to connect prosthetics to the brain so somebody could use it as an actual hand with brain signals, which is pretty cool if you ask me, honestly. And then we also talked about Paul Graham, who is a computer science whiz who started a company with a friend of his and used his knowledge to support young students and entrepreneurs in their projects for helping the world become a better place. And it was really interesting how they approach certain things, Graham and his partner. And now we are moving on to the 8th out of the 9th story on strategies that these masters used. Strategic approach. So this is the 8th strategic approach that a master used. A different master. So this is now number 8. Dimensional thinking. In 1798, Napoleon Bonaparte invaded Egypt in an attempt to transform it into a colony. But the invasion bogged down as the British, seeking to block the French, became involved. A year later, as the war dragged on, a soldier working on the reinforcement of a French fort near the town of Rosetta dug into the ground and hit a rock. In extracting the rock, he discovered that it was some kind of relic from ancient Egypt, a slab of basalt covered in writing. Napoleon had been motivated to invade Egypt partially by his intense curiosity for all things Egyptian, and had taken along with his troops French scientists and historians to help analyze the relics he hoped to find. In looking at the slab of basalt, which came to be known as the Rosetta Stone, the French savants grew excited. It contained text written out in 3 different scripts. On the top, Egyptian hieroglyphs. In the middle, what is known as Demotic, the language and script of the common people of ancient Egypt. And on the bottom, ancient Greek. In translating the ancient Greek, they discovered that the text was a mundane proclamation celebrating the reign of Ptolemy V, 203 to 181 BC. At the end of the text, however, it stated that the proclamation was to be written out in 3 versions, meaning that the content was the same in the Demotic and the hieroglyphic. With the ancient Greek text as the key, it suddenly seemed possible to decipher the other 2 versions. Since the last known hieroglyphs had been written in 394 AD, anyone who could read them had long died off, making it a completely dead and untranslatable language, and leaving a seemingly unsolvable mystery as to the content of so many of the writings in temples and on papyri. Now, perhaps, these secrets could finally be revealed. The stone was carted off to an institution in Cairo, but in 1801 the English defeated the French in Egypt and threw them out. Knowing of the extremely high value of the Rosetta Stone, they hunted it down in Cairo and shipped it off to London, where it remains to this day in the British Museum. As drawings of the stone began to be passed around, intellectuals from all parts of Europe became involved in a competition to be the first to decipher the hieroglyphs and unlock the mysteries. As they began to tackle the puzzle, some progress was made. Certain hieroglyphs were outlined in a rectangle known as cartouches. It was determined that these cartouches contained the names of various royal figures. One Swedish professor had been able to make out the name of Ptolemy in the Demotic, and speculated on the sound values the characters might have. But the initial enthusiasm for deciphering the hieroglyphs eventually died out, and many worried that they would remain undecipherable. The further anyone got with the puzzle, the more questions that were raised about the kind of writing system represented by the symbols themselves. In 1814, a new figure entered the fray, an Englishman named Dr. Thomas Young, who quickly became the leading candidate to be the first to decipher the Rosetta Stone. Although a medical doctor, he was a man who had dabbled in all the sciences and was considered something of a genius. He had the blessing of the English establishment and full access to all of the various papyri and relics the English had confiscated, including the stone itself. Furthermore, he was independently wealthy and could devote all of his time to this study. And so, throwing himself into the work with great enthusiasm, Young began to make some progress. He had a computational approach to the problem. He counted the number of times a particular word, such as God, appeared in the Greek text, then found a word that appeared the same number of times in the Demotic, assuming they were the same word. He did everything he could to make the letters in Demotic fit his scheme. If the apparent equivalent word of God seemed too long, he would simply deduce that certain letters were meaningless. He assumed that the three texts went in the same order, and that he could match words by their location. Sometimes he guessed right. Most often, he got nowhere. He made some key discoveries, that Demotic and hieroglyphs were related, the one being a kind of loose handwritten form of the other, and that Demotic used a phonetic alphabet to spell out foreign names, but that it was mostly a system of pictograms. But he kept hitting dead ends, and he never got close to trying his hand at the hieroglyphs. After a few years, he essentially gave up. In the meantime, there appeared on the scene a young man who seemed to be an unlikely candidate to succeed in this race. Jean-Francois Champollion, 1790 to 1832. He came from a small town near Grenoble. His family was relatively poor, and until the age of 7, Champollion had no formal education. But he had one advantage over all the others. From his earliest years, he had been drawn to the history of ancient civilizations. He wanted to discover new things about the origins of mankind, and for this purpose, he took up the study of ancient languages, Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, as well as several other Semitic languages, all of which he mastered with remarkable speed by the age of 12. Holy shit. Quickly, his attention was drawn to ancient Egypt. In 1802, he heard about the Rosetta Stone, and he told his older brother that he would be the one to decipher it. The moment he began to study the ancient Egyptians, he experienced a vivid identification with everything that had to do with the civilization. As a child, he had a powerful visual memory. He could draw with exceptional skill. He tended to see the writings in books, even books in French, as if they were drawings instead of an alphabet. When he first laid eyes on hieroglyphs, they seemed almost familiar to him. Soon his relationship to hieroglyphs bordered on a fanatical obsession. That thing of seeing images instead of alphabet. I don't know if you guys get that at all, but when I'm reading, I definitely... excuse me. I don't know if you get this at all, but when I read, especially fantasy books, like the Warhammer 40k book I'm reading, when I read, I picture the scenes in my head visually. I don't really think of it as like, oh, this is just letters on a page I'm reading, and then that's it. I'm just reading the stories. Like, no, I'm like constantly visually picturing the story in my head. That's how I see it. I don't know if you guys see it that way at all, but that's how I often see fantasy books. I'm always picturing what's going on. To really make progress, he decided he would have to learn the language known as Coptic. After Egypt became a Roman colony in 30 BC, the old language, Demotic, slowly died out and was replaced by Coptic, a mix of Greek and Egyptian. After the Arabs conquered Egypt and converted it to Islam, making Arabic the official idiom, the remaining Christians in the land retained Coptic as their language. By Champollion's time, only a few Christians remained who still spoke the ancient language, mostly monks and priests. In 1805, just such a monk passed through the Champollion's small town, and he quickly befriended him. The monk taught him the rudiments of Coptic, and when he returned a few months later, he brought Champollion a grammar book. The boy worked at the language day and night, with a fervor that others saw as madness. He wrote his brother, "I do nothing else. I dream in Coptic. I am so Coptic that for fun, I translate into Coptic everything that comes into my head." When he later went to Paris for schooling, he found more monks, and he practiced to the point where he was told that he spoke the dying language as well as any native. With only a poor reproduction of the Rosetta Stone at his disposal, he began to attack it with various hypotheses, all of which were later proven quite wrong. Unlike the others, however, Champollion's enthusiasm never dampened. The problem for him was the political turmoil of his time. An avowed son of the French Revolution, he finally came to support the cause of Napoleon, just as the emperor lost power. When King Louis XVII came to the throne as the new French king, that's King Louis XVIII. That's a lot of King Louis, holy shit. When King Louis XVIII came to the throne as the new French king, Champollion's Napoleonic sympathies cost him his job as a professor. Years of grinding poverty and ill health forced him to abandon his interest in the Rosetta Stone. But in 1821, finally rehabilitated by the government and living in Paris, Champollion returned to the quest with renewed energy and determination. Having been away from the study of hieroglyphics for some time, he came back with a fresh perspective. The problem, he decided, was that others were approaching decipherment as if it involved some kind of mathematical code. But Champollion, who spoke dozens of languages and could read many dead languages, understood that languages evolve in a haphazard manner, influenced by the influx of new groups into a society, and shaped by the passage of time. They are not mathematical formulas, but living, evolving organisms. They are complex. He now approached the hieroglyphs in a more holistic fashion. His goal was to figure out exactly what kind of script it was. Pictograms, literally the picture representing the thing. Ideograms, the picture representing ideas. Some kind of phonetic alphabet, or perhaps a mix of all three. With this in mind, he tried something that, strangely enough, no one had thought of. He made a comparison of the number of words in the Greek and hieroglyphic sections. He counted 486 words in the Greek text and 1,419 hieroglyphic signs. Champollion had been operating under the assumption that hieroglyphs were ideograms, each symbol representing an idea or word. With such a discrepancy in number, this assumption was no longer possible. He then tried to identify groups of hieroglyphic symbols that would constitute words, but this numbered only 180. He could find no clear numerical relationship between the two. And so, the only possible conclusion from all of this was that the hieroglyphic writing is a mixed system of ideograms, pictograms, and a phonetic alphabet, making it more complex than anyone had imagined. He next decided to attempt something that anyone else would have thought insane and useless, to apply his visual powers to the demonic and hieroglyphic texts, looking exclusively at the shapes of the letters or signs. In doing so, he began to see patterns and correspondences. For instance, a particular sign in the hieroglyph, such as the depiction of a bird, had a rough equivalent in demonic, the image of the bird becoming less realistic and more like an abstract shape. Because of his incredible photographic memory, he could identify hundreds of these equivalencies between symbols, although he could not say what any one of them meant. They remained merely images. Armed with this knowledge, he went on the attack. On the Rosetta Stone, he examined the royal cartouche in the demonic that had been previously identified as containing the name of Ptolemy. Knowing now many equivalent signs between hieroglyphs and demonic, he transposed the demonic symbols into what they should look like in the hieroglyphic version, to create what should be the word for Ptolemy. To his surprise and delight, he found such a word, making this the first successful decipherment of a hieroglyph. Knowing that this name was probably written down in phonetics, as would be all foreign names, he deduced the sound equivalencies in both demonic and hieroglyph for Ptolemy. With the letters P, T, L now identified, he found another cartouche in a papyrus document that he was certain would have to be that of Cleopatra. Now, adding new letters to his knowledge, Ptolemy and Cleopatra had two different letters for T. For others, this might prove baffling, but to Champollion, he understood that it merely represented homophones, such as the F sound in phone and fold. With growing knowledge of letters, he proceeded to decipher the names of all of the royal cartouches he could find, giving him a treasure trove of alphabetic information. Then, in September 1822, it all became unlocked in the most surprising way, in the course of one day. A temple had been discovered in a desolate part of Egypt, whose walls and statues were covered in hieroglyphs. Accurate drawings of the hieroglyphs fell into Champollion's hands, and in looking at them, he was struck by something curious. None of the cartouches corresponded to the names he had already identified. He decided to apply the phonetic alphabet he had developed to one of them, but could only see the letter S at the end. The first symbol reminded him of the image of the sun. In Coptic, which was a distant relative of ancient Egyptian, the word for sun is Re. In the middle of the cartouche was a trident symbol with 3 prongs that looked eerily like an elm, an M. With great excitement, he realized this could be the name Ramses. Ramses was a pharaoh of the 13th century BC, and this would mean that the Egyptians had a phonetic alphabet dating back who knows how far in time. An earth-shattering discovery. He needed more proof to assert this. Another cartouche in the temple drawing had the same M-shaped symbol. The first symbol in the cartouche was that of an abyss. With his knowledge of ancient Egyptian history, he knew that the bird was the symbol of the god Thoth, or Thoth. This cartouche could now spell out Thutmose, or Thutmose, or Thutmose, Yet another name of an ancient pharaoh. In another part of the temple, he saw a hieroglyphic word that consisted entirely of the equivalent letters of M and S. Thinking in Coptic, he translated the word as mis, which means to give birth. Sure enough, in the Greek text of the Rosetta Stone, he found a phrase referring to a birthday and identified the equivalent of it in the hieroglyphic section. Overwhelmed by what he had found, he ran through the streets of Paris to find his brother. He shouted upon entering the room, "I've got it!" and then fainted, falling to the floor. After nearly 20 years of a continuous obsession, through endless problems and poverty and setbacks, Champollion had uncovered the key to the hieroglyphs in a few short months of intense labor. In the aftermath of his discovery, he would continue to translate one word after another and figure out the exact nature of the hieroglyphs. In the process, he would completely transform our knowledge and concept of ancient Egypt. His earliest translations revealed that hieroglyphs, as he suspected, were a sophisticated combination of all three forms of symbols, and had the equivalent of an alphabet, far beyond anyone had imagined the invention of an alphabet. This was not a backward civilization of priests dominating a slave culture and keeping secrets through mysterious symbols, but a vibrant society with a complicated and beautiful written language, one that could be considered the equal of ancient Greek. When his discovery was broadcast, Champollion became an instant hero in France, but Dr. Young, his main rival in the field, could not accept defeat. He spent the ensuing years accusing Champollion of fraud and plagiarism, unable to conceive of the idea that someone from such a modest background could pull off such an amazing intellectual feat. The story of Champollion versus Dr. Young contains an elemental lesson about the learning process and illustrates two classical approaches to a problem. In the case of Young, he came to the hieroglyphic puzzle from the outside, fueled by the ambition to be the first to decipher the hieroglyphs and gain fame in the process. To expedite matters, he reduced the writing system of the ancient Egyptians into tidy mathematical formulas, assuming that they represented ideograms. In such a way, he could approach decipherment as if it were a computational feat. To do so, he had to simplify what ended up being revealed as an extremely complex and layered system of writing. For Champollion, it was the opposite. He was fueled by a genuine hunger to understand the origins of mankind, and by a deep love of ancient Egyptian culture. Excuse me. He wanted to get at the truth, not gain fame. Because he saw the translation of the Rosetta Stone as his life's task, he was willing to devote 20 or more years to the job, or whatever it took to solve the riddle. He did not attack the problem from the outside and with formulas, but rather went through a rigorous apprenticeship in ancient languages and Coptic. It ended up that his knowledge of Coptic proved the decisive key to unraveling the secret. His knowledge of languages made him understand how complex they can be, reflecting the complexity of any great society. When he finally returned to the Rosetta Stone with undistracted attention in 1821, his mind shifted to the creative active. He reframed the problem in holistic terms. His decision to first look at the two scripts, Demotic and hieroglyphic, as purely visual, was a stroke of creative genius. In the end, he thought in greater dimensions and uncovered enough aspects of the language to unlock it. Many people in various fields tend to follow the Young method, If they are studying economics or the human body and health or the workings of the brain, they tend to work with abstractions and simplifications, reducing highly complex and interactive problems into modules, formulas, tidy statistics, and isolated organs that can be dissected. This approach can yield a partial picture of reality, much in the way that dissecting a corpse can tell you some things about the human body. But with these simplifications, the living, breathing element is missing. You want to follow instead the Champollion model. You are not in a hurry. You prefer the holistic approach. You look at the object of study from as many angles as possible, giving your thoughts added dimensions. You assume that the parts of any whole interact with one another and cannot be completely separated. In your mind, you get as close to the complicated truth and reality of your object of study as possible. In the process, great mysteries will unravel themselves before your eyes. And I actually think that is a good place for us to end for today. We are approaching the end of this chapter. So I'm going to end it there for today. And we actually are getting close to finishing the book. As for what my plans are, I'm gonna pause this. As for what my plans are, after reading Mastery, I have a few books in mind. I think the one that I'm leaning more towards that I would like to read is Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. I'd like to buy a hard copy of that and read that to you guys, because I've always wanted to read through that whole book, but I haven't gotten the chance to. There's that, and then there's also 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Which I also want to read, which I've heard is also a very good book. And there's also his other book where he said 12 more rules for life. So yeah. But I think switching up to something philosophical, because we did, we read through all of the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi. That was an interesting book on sword techniques, Japanese sword techniques and styles, and some philosophy sprinkled in there. Yeah, I think that's a good place for us to end the stream for today. So I want to thank all of you very much for tuning in. Thank you so much, as always. And we will resume the streams next week on next Monday. That's the last stream for the week. So I do have some videos scheduled up, and I'm going to be working on putting together something very special with the thing that we practiced today with the Enchanted Garden script. It's going to be something quite special. Sorry, Glenn, I wasn't able to do the Worth It Kids animation voiceover for today, but next week I'm sure we'll have time to do that. So, yeah, I mean, this Enchanted Garden script took 2 full streams, basically. We practiced it for like 4 hours straight. Or not 4 hours straight, but 4 hours total, which is a lot, considering it's a 4-minute script. But yeah. So we'll go to audio files and we'll just pop that in there for good measure. Perfect. Uploaded. Nice. So yeah. And I think that's about it. Next week, so what's part 33 today? So next Tuesday will be part 35, which is pretty exciting. And we have officially, actually, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. By next Sunday, we will have reached the 2-month mark for streams. That's crazy to me. 2 months. Next Sunday will represent 2 months that I have been spending time on working. 2 months of time I've spent doing streams 4 times a week. I've spent time uploading shorts every single day. I have not missed a day on YouTube or TikTok. I missed 1 day on Instagram, admittedly, but that is only because Instagram doesn't have a scheduling feature, which I'm really still pissed off about. Add that, Instagram. Add that shit. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to do that on my PC. But yeah, I haven't missed an upload, so by next week it'll be 60 days worth of posts that I have done. 60 posts on social media. Just pretty crazy that we're reaching that already. So thank you all so much again. I appreciate your support. I see more of you guys are checking out the videos now, which is great. I think the algorithm kind of was being a little wonky, but I think my videos are finally getting out to more people, thankfully. So I'm looking forward to you guys seeing that. And yeah, got a bunch of special stuff planned for content-wise, so stay tuned for that. So I bid you all farewell, and take care, everyone.